Good morning, everyone. Meteorologist Tawana Andrew here as we keep an eye on everything going on for the beginning of a brand new year. Hey, I'm meteorologist Tawana Andrew on this Wednesday morning, and it's been a cold start to the day as you've been seeing some snow, some flurries across the area. On our SkyTrack camera, we're peeking into Paristown, and we have SkyTrack cameras across a good chunk of our region, so that's helping. Let's keep an eye on some of that light snow, those flurries flying, and some areas of drizzle as well that we are seeing to start off your Wednesday morning and start off the brand new year. So this is what the radar looks like as of 9:13 a.m. We're seeing those flurries flying and light snow anywhere from Jennings County all the way south into portions of Hart County and Litchfield, getting in on some of this light snow. So it's what we're dealing with this morning. It has caused some lower visibility here and there at times this morning, and that's something that we'll continue to keep a very close eye on. So good morning to everyone that is watching this morning, including Dave. Thank you, and good morning to you in Carrollton. To start off the day, we're continuing to keep an eye on some of that light snow, the flurries flying here and there, and some drizzle mixed in because temperatures are slightly still above freezing in a lot of spots, and that is going to help that little drizzle flurry mix that we are dealing with. We're seeing right now the main source of the light snow that we're seeing across the area, this area of low pressure. Now, while it is well to our northeast, it's still doing a very good job of throwing all of that moisture around it. Plus, some of that moisture is coming off the Great Lakes too, and that is helping with what we're seeing today. In terms of some of that snow. And thank you, Dave, for your report. Yeah, you have a dusting of snow on your car. That is to be expected. We're expecting as these flurries, these light snow showers move throughout the day, you get a little bit of a dusting here and there, but overall, not a lot of snow this time around. This time around, because things can get pretty interesting as we head over the next 10 days. And let's just say, as meteorologists, we are intrigued and stressed out with what's coming our way. I'm just going to be entirely honest with you there. Temperatures are still above freezing in most spots, except for southern Indiana. This is where we're seeing some of those temperatures at or slightly below the freezing mark, which means if you get some flurries, more likely to. So overall, those 30s around, and we are watching the wind right now, gusting between 15 and 20 miles per hour in most spots. Going to keep the wind gusts about here as the day goes along, and that means wind chills in the 20s. Yes, to start off the day. So, yeah, we're cold. But hey, it's the first of a brand new year, so really not surprised to see these cold wind chills across the region this morning. In terms of those wind chills, keep in mind we're going to feel like the 20s throughout the rest of the day. And we're going to see actual highs, actual afternoon temperatures, I should say, in the 30s. I'm not going to say highs for this afternoon. And the reason for that is the fact that we actually were at 41 degrees at midnight this morning. So technically that will be our high for the day. And then for the rest of the day, we're going to stay in the 30s. So a cold day, a winter-like day, a January day. And nobody's surprised here. So what we're going to continue to look at as we head throughout this today will be some more of these flurries flying, some of this light snow, the temperatures in the 30s, wind chills in the 20s, not much changing throughout the day, just kind of one of those kind of days, but at least it's overall relatively quiet. I will take this over what we're looking at as we head into next week. So we're continuing to watch so much going on across the area. And really just going to be keeping an eye on snow, rain, and a lot of active weather. I'm going to phrase it as active weather coming our way over the next 10 days. And to answer your question, I saw it. Where did it go? Anne is asking how many days until spring. The answer is 78. So 78 days until we can, warm up a little bit more. As of right now, though, we're just going to talk about crazy cold, what I call disrespectful kind of cold coming into our way. It's like the Arctic is trying to invade, really, as we get over the next 10 days. But while today we're only talking about some flurries flying here and there and some light snow here and there, that's not much compared to what we're going to be seeing even later on this week. So looking at your Friday, we're still watching a Clipper system diving towards us. And this is going to be a fast moving system. I'm talking in and out in less than 10 hours. Not going to last very long. But because our temperatures will be in the 20s as we head into Friday morning, anything that falls will stick. The question is, will it stick on the roads? Because we are going to be pretty cold as we head over the next 24 to 48 hours. So that will set the stage for the pavements and, of course, those elevated surfaces to also be on the colder side. That will help with accumulations across the region. So as we're getting into Friday morning, we're getting past midnight on Friday morning. Here comes this low diving towards us. We'll watch for the light snow pushing through the area. Once we get closer to about 8, 9 o'clock on Friday morning, we're waving goodbye to it. That's how quickly this is going to move in. But with those temperatures below freezing as it moves in, that is why we're looking at some accumulations with this. Now, of course, the temperatures that we see really as we get into Friday morning will be key to everything. So if we're slightly above freezing, that's going to help to minimize any travel issues, but still going to be watching everything very closely. So by your Friday afternoon, we'll get some sunshine. Anything that falls most likely will melt with the help of that sunshine for Friday afternoon, and especially as we climb a little bit above the freezing mark then too. So in terms of snow cover potential for our Friday, notice it's mainly in areas northeast of Louisville where we have a better chance for that, but we can see anywhere. It looks like as of right now from a dusting of snow to a 1/4 inch of snow with that Friday morning system. It just will fully depend on how much moisture this system has as it moves through. And you're going to hear us talk about that a lot, the moisture content, because clippers are usually coming off of Canada, some point of Canada. And there's not a lot of moisture up there for it to use. So unless it can tap into that moisture from somewhere else, that would be the key to it getting a little bit more of that snow. That's why we're not super excited about those snowfall totals as we get into Friday morning, but we're still watching it. As of right now, we're going to hold off an alert day. We want to get a little bit more of that higher resolution data in before we jump into that for Friday morning, mainly in terms of travel impacts, not accumulation. So that's what we will be looking at as we head into Friday morning, if you see me or Ryan putting out an alert day within today or tomorrow. So just keep that in mind. Now, Saturday is quiet. Saturday is cold across the area. Some sunshine, highs, upper 20s, low 30s. We can deal with that, right? Especially with the help of the sunshine. And I see so many of you asking about that weekend system. Yeah, we'll be keeping an eye on that. This is why we already have the alert days out for Sunday and Monday. And even before Ryan put out those alert days yesterday, we were talking about it. We're just trying to nail down the timing of it a little bit more so we can get you a more focused look at what we will be seeing as we get into the end of the weekend and the beginning of next week. I know those of you who are model watchers, you're probably been seeing some crazy numbers in terms of snowfall totals and ice accretions across the area. Now, keep in mind, we still have a couple of days to nail down this forecast because the track of this low will be key to everything that we see. So take those models that you are seeing online that people are sharing with a grain of salt. The forecast is going to change. I'm just going to be blunt about it. It is going to change for Sunday into Monday. There are things that are going to evolve and just a few changes in terms of the track of this low, the temperatures that we see as it's moving in will be the big difference between whether we got a lot of snow, a lot of ice, a lot of rain across the area. So I'm just going to be blunt and upfront when it comes to that. So let's talk about the track of this system. As of right now, most of the modeling is putting it just to the south of 64 as it moves through our region. If that happens, then we're going to start off with snow, go over to a little bit of ice. So that could be freezing rain or sleet, depending on how things evolve temperature-wise throughout the atmosphere. Switch over to some rain, then get back to the mix and then back to snow. So we are going to see that potential for multiple types of precipitation in our area, sometimes going on at the same time across the region. So this is why it's really a good idea to have that wave weather app, because we spend a lot of time breaking down the forecast for each section. So basically we do 4 separate forecasts in the Wave Weather app, one for Southern Indiana, one for our suburbs outside of the metro, one for the metro itself, and then one for those of you in South Central Kentucky. So the forecast is really geared to you, and we spend a lot of time making sure that's as accurate as possible. So that's why our app is very different from what some of the other stations, from what some other areas have, because we make sure that we put in some very detailed information in it. So back to the track of this low. If it goes a little bit further to the south, then we're going to be more on the northern side of the low, which means we have a better chance for some ice and snow. If it goes further to the north, that puts us in a better chance to see more ice and rain across the area, because we'll be on the warmer side. If it tracks right along 64, we'll get a little bit of everything in every part of wave country. So this is why the track of this is so important. But the timing is something that's coming together a little bit more. We're looking at things starting to kick off as we get through Sunday morning, picking up in terms of intensity as we head into Sunday afternoon and evening. And we'll see more of those impacts Sunday night into Monday morning. So that Monday morning commute, when everyone is getting back to work, back to school, could be a rough go in some locations, depending on how this goes. Even I'm trying to make sure that I'm planning ahead, because I come into work in the middle of the night. So I want to make sure that I'm traveling safely. So this is something we're going to watch for that Monday morning commute, especially. And every model points this ending as snow. So even if this starts off with a mix, we get some rain, we get some ice, we get some sleet, it does look like we're going to end as snow, which could help out with traction issues Monday morning. But it's something that we'll have to watch very closely as we get into Sunday and Monday. And then by Tuesday, we're quiet again. So a couple of people have been asking about what we're looking at in terms of accumulations and accretions for the snow and ice. Well, this is what some of the modeling is pumping out right now. I'm going to show you this, but remember, take it with a grain of salt, because if the track of this low changes, then where we're seeing the better potential for snow and ice, hit the mic there. I've been up too long. Where we're seeing the potential for snow and ice will change based on the track of this low. So here's what we're looking at in terms of snow cover potential, where you see those deeper grays. That is where we have a better chance for potentially several inches of snow trying to form based on the current modeling that we have going on. So areas along and north of 64 have a much better chance to see that snow accumulating as we head into Sunday, and especially on Monday. Now, here's where we have that ice potential. Notice it's slightly to the south, like I mentioned, of that snow band. So where we see that overlap happen is where we could end up with some more travel issues as well. So we'll have to keep an eye on how much of that ice that we can get across the area. This is why the track of this low is so key, because as of right now, a lot of modeling has that slightly south of Louisville. But if this low nudges further to the north, then Louisville gets more into it. So we have to keep an eye on everything very closely. This is why you'll hear me being very, very upfront with everything. And this is why we are watching it so closely. And we've been watching this system for more than a week now. And it's been concerning for a while, as well as, especially as all of the modeling starting to line up a little bit more with those impacts that we'll see not just here, but anywhere from basically Wichita all the way into the Carolinas could see something from this system. So this is going to be a big topic of conversation weather-wise as we head into next week. So I want to make sure that I'm giving you that heads up now, especially since it's a holiday. You may not be thinking about work just yet. You don't want to think about work just yet. I get that. That's entirely fair. But I want to make sure that you can plan ahead for what's coming our way. And Edward, you made an excellent point. You said, don't mind the snow. It's the ice I don't like. The danger with ice, it's more often than not, you don't know it's there until you're right on top of it. You nailed it right there. And especially with this moving through, as a lot of people are getting back to work, back to school, that is our main concern, which is why we have the alert days out already. And we've been talking about this for quite a few days now. And it's not just this system that we have to watch as we head into next week. Everything is pointing to another system moving in towards next Friday. So we could have a 1-2 punch in terms of wintry weather for the beginning and the end of next week. So the first full week of January, the first full week of 2025 could be a very interesting one with us here in Wave Country. Richard, I knew somebody was going to ask this question. You asked about any idea on snowfall totals. I don't think it's entirely responsible of me to actually try to put out any snowfall totals just yet, because modeling has anywhere from, and I'm gonna be blunt, modeling has anywhere from 2 to 3 inches of snow to 1.5 feet of snow. That is how far apart the modeling is on this, which is why we are watching it closely, which is why we haven't put out a snow map for this yet, which is why we're just making sure you're aware of the potential impacts, because in terms of those kind of numbers, we won't really have that nailed down until after we get past the Friday system, because that Friday system is going to set up how cold we are heading into the weekend and how cold we are as that system arrives. So a lot to watch there. Matt, Matt Day wants to know if we'll get enough snow for my number one fans to build snowmen. I really hope the girls get to build some snow. Don't worry, y'all will be the first to know. I'll let you know. So Courtney, just hypothetically totals. If I'm not gonna give numbers, because once again, if things switch, if we end up on, let's say, the southern side of this system, then we're mainly getting rain and ice, and we'd barely see any snow across the area. If we end up on the northern side, then we'd barely get any ice, and we mainly get some snow across the area. So it is certainly going to be one of those. We're watching it and seeing it. We're going to have a much better chance to dive into the actual totals and get a better view of potential totals on Friday, once that Friday system moves out and we're able to get some of that high resolution modeling with that. Because keep in mind that Sunday, Monday system isn't even onshore yet in the US. So until it gets onshore on the western half of the country, we are going to have to basically go on what we're dealing with. And once we get a little bit of that sampling from the weather balloons and the airplanes and stuff in the upper levels of the atmosphere in that system, that is when we'll have a better idea of what's going to be coming our way in terms of totals with the ice and snow heading our way Sunday into Monday. Brad wants to know, winter storm warning issued soon. They usually issue those 24 to 48 hours out. So nothing in terms of that will be issued within the next few days. Now, the National Weather Service, we've already been in contact with them. We're all talking about it. We're all in conversations about it, making sure that we're all keeping an eye on this, especially from a safety side of it. So it's not just the National Weather Service, but emergency managers. Everyone is keeping an eye on this to make sure that we all can stay safe as it moves through, because, we may end up on the southern side of this low, and it might just be rain Sunday into Monday. And even that can cause impacts across the area. But we are going to continue to just keep an eye on the trends. And I'm not going to be giving you any numbers today and tomorrow in terms of snowfall totals. So if you're watching for that, I'm sorry. But I just personally don't feel like it's responsible this far out for me to do that. But it looks like we'll have some snow for those of you who are snow lovers. The question is just how much? And keep in mind, the way it's looking, this may be the most substantial snow that we get in our area since I have been here. And I've been in Louisville since 2016. So just think of it that way. Matt has a question. I love that you're also watching, Matt. If we get on the rain side, do you think it'll be cold enough for ice? Yes. We still have that potential for ice, because even the modeling putting us on the warmer side still has us only in the 30s with that Sunday into Monday. And notice right now, if you look at the 10-day, we're below freezing from Friday night all the way through the end of next week. So anything that falls will stick and will stay on the ground for a while too. So it may not just be one day that we see the impacts from this, but it may be a couple of days as well. Cheryl, I have some family that's traveling from Louisville on Monday. Could that be a problem? Yes. I have a couple of people who are in this station who've had friends or family that are planning on trying to leave Sunday or Monday. I already told them no. Either you leave Saturday or you come in a little bit later, maybe late Tuesday into Wednesday. I I would avoid traveling Sunday and Monday across anywhere the 64 corridor, basically in between St. Louis here and over to the east. If anyone's flying on those days, there's most likely going to be some sort of impact in terms of travel with that as well. So we got a lot to watch, and I would just make sure I would avoid traveling on those days. Teresa, I want to build a snowman. Fun fact about me, I have never built a snowman. We have to work on that. I have the kit at home with like the little fake carrot nose and the hat and everything, and I still haven't made one yet. So we're gonna work on that. This Florida girl will get there. And if it snows enough for me to make a snowman, then I will make one on Monday, and I'll post the pictures and the videos, and I'll be very excited and very cold as well. The other thing, we talked a lot about the Sunday, Monday system. But I want to make sure that we're not forgetting about the cold air moving in after that. When we get into Wednesday and Thursday, we're talking upper teens, low 20s across the area, and that's highs. That's just highs for the middle of next week. And that's on the warmer end of some of the modeling. I just want to put that out there. So Wednesday and the Thursday of next week will be very cold. Some lows in the single digits. Some models are trying to pump out some lows below zero, depending on how much of that snow we get. Because remember, if we get it with a decent snowpack on Sunday and a Monday, then those temperatures that you see for the middle of next week will be colder as well. So there's so many things that we have to really keep an eye on as we head throughout the next few days. We'll have a better idea for a snow map for what's happening Sunday into Monday as we get into Friday. So we'll be keeping an eye on that. And Carson will be here through the weekend. And Ryan and I will be here as well, making sure we're keeping an eye on everything. And then Kevin and Brian are also going to be back next week. So the entire team will be here. The entire team will be watching it. I'm already making plans to make sure that I can get to work safely on Monday morning. So if you have any travel plans on Sunday into Monday, I'd make sure I have backups just in case with that. So any part of wave country can get impacts from this, depending on the track of this low and the timing of everything as well. So this is what we are looking at as we get into the next couple of days. So yeah, remember just that wave weather app, that is honestly the first place that we update with any information that we get. I'm about to go in there after our morning meeting and update it with the flurries and the snow showers that we're seeing across the region as well. And we'll keep an eye on it. Danny made a good point. Too many variables and none of them seem good. You are right. Because either way, there's potential for ice in the system. It's just whether or not we get more snow or more rain. So we're going to be in the middle of it all. Angela, is Brian G all giddy yet? He's been giddy for weeks. I think he's more stressed than giddy, though, because we don't have all the details just yet. But that's what we have going on. Cheryl, I'm sure our students would love a longer winter break. Yeah, they would love it. Definitely don't want any kids out and about in this. So it's too early to nail down details, but I know all the school districts, all the emergency managers, everybody's watching it, and that's something that we'll keep an eye on. Okay, I am late for our morning meeting right now, so I'm going to run in there and give them an update of what we're seeing as well. And then I will be updating that wave weather app, so just keep an eye on those updates coming in throughout that. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Make sure you stay weather aware as we head into the coming days. Don't forget, even though everyone's focused in on the Sunday, Monday snow, don't forget we do have some of that snow coming for Friday morning too, and that could cause some issues in the morning, a couple of slick spots depending on the temperatures and the totals. So I would still want to make sure that you are A-okay, that you are planning for that too. Don't forget Friday morning as we look ahead to what's happening next week. Okay, so everyone have a wonderful day. Happy New Year. Welcome to 2025. We are starting off certainly on an interesting note, and I'll be here throughout the rest of the week and into next week to make sure that you stay weather aware. Everyone have a great day, and I will see you as we get into next couple of days. Bye, y'all.